well, welcome back, everyone. We're here with Mara Hitner of MatterHackers. So we're going to talk a little bit about your organization and just maybe what you've been doing while you've been here and what you got going on. So could you talk a little bit about your organization and the kind of things you care about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I care about a lot of things.
Relative to 3D printing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we'll narrow it down.
Yeah.
MatterHackers, we are a proud America Makes member.
Perfect, yes.
And we are the largest, we've been known as the largest 3D printing retailer. We're actually moving towards becoming a digital manufacturing retailer, digital fabrication retailer. So we sell kind of the desktop space, so desktop 3D printers, CNC machines, laser cutters, laser engravers, and then we have roughly 1,000 SKUs of filament, different materials, some filament, some resin. And we're at MatterHackers.com. We have a showroom in Orange County so people can come and visit us. We have a GSA schedule, so it's very easy for the military to work with us. But basically, people like to work with us because we're not a manufacturer, so we're not pushing any particular brand at anyone.
That was interesting. We were talking about that just as we got set up, just where you really fit and how you can provide this unbiased, advice and help folks on their journey. That's pretty interesting.
Exactly. It's about people telling us what it is they want to make, and then we can kind of play matchmaker and match them up with the right machines, materials, and again, we're beholden to nobody. So
That's
really,
great.
we're motivated by them being successful.
Do you see many folks, you mentioned that you supply CNCs and things like that as well. Do you see folks starting, do you see any evolution or change there where people are starting to, are they buying packages from you, or can you talk a little bit about the client that you might work with day in and day out?
Yeah. Well, that's actually what's really exciting right now is that people kind of, I think, started with 3D printing, and now they're kind of going old school with the CNCs and laser engravers and stuff. But it's all kind of in the same neighborhood, right? So we believe in some things have not changed. The right tool for the right job.
Absolutely.
So we are kind of the one-stop shop for our clients, which can be anything from Fortune 500 companies to small companies that are making things on Etsy, hobbyists, a lot of schools, a lot of maker spaces, universities, training centers that have, they know they need to get this technology in, but they're not really sure exactly where to start or which one is going to be right for them. It may be the answer is one of them. It may be the answer is a combination, because that's what you find out in the workforce, right? Is it's not just one. You need to kind of be well-versed in what's going to work for that particular project.
Well, you mentioned education. Do you guys get involved in that space much, as whether it personally or in the within your business? To mention schools. We've met. We just actually had a group of high schoolers walk by us.
Did foam fingers?
Yeah, foam fingers. So they were. Obviously we all understand there's this big skills gap. So we understand that we need to get technology in the hands of folks who are going to be the next generation. Do you guys operate within that space at all?
We do. So we've been working with schools, anything from elementary school, K-12 up to colleges and universities for probably the past 4 years. But I think what's really interesting right now is that, especially where MatterHackers sits as a retailer, we know where all the printers are, right? So we can see that literally the same Ultimaker or Lulzbot or Maker Gear that we're selling to an elementary school is the same machine that is going to be on the desk at Tesla, Northrop Grumman, Google, Facebook, any of these companies. So it really is workforce training, but they're not talking to each other, right? But it's very interesting when you talk about this next generation of workforce. A lot of them are going to be using Tinkercad from when they're, in 4th or 5th grade, sometimes younger. By the time they get to high school and college and then to the workforce, they're actually going to have a skill set that's really useful.
Yeah, transferable. Yeah. One other thing I wanted to make sure we got in while we were talking was I noticed you recently had a PR that came out. So can you talk a little bit about that and just what's going on there?
Yeah, that's the other exciting thing right now is that we've been using these desktop 3D printers for a number of years, and now they've become so reliable and so feature rich that chemical companies like Dow, DSM, DuPont, BASF, they're making filament for these low-cost, sub $6,000 machines. So these toys for the garage, they're becoming very, very useful, and the chemical companies are now investing in this technology because they see it being used by professionals and by enterprise who are buying 10, 20, 50 of these machines to have one on every engineer's desk to be able to rapidly prototype without waiting in a queue for the bigger machines.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's exciting, it's validating for those of us who have been in this space and seen it progress from when maybe it was not so reliable and not so useful.
Indeed.
But it's good to see that we love Yoda heads, who doesn't? But it's not for that anymore. It's really for jigs, fixtures, tools, final products. We have a lot of examples in our booth here at MatterHackers.
I was just going to actually make sure we got that covered.
Yeah.
So can you let everyone know here, as we put this out, where you're going to be, or where you're at within the showroom floor?
We have a booth that's in the 2100 block. And we have, what's really nice is our customers have given us designs, like actual models that they've been using our, the advanced
Real
materials.
life applications,
yeah. So we have a whole wall of applications using Nylon X, which is nylon with glass fiber, Nylon X, which is nylon with carbon fiber, Nylon G with glass fiber, a lot of these advanced materials, and it's real models from their shops that we're showing, and I think the story is really impactful and inspiring, right? Because people see these models and like, oh, they were able to make that.
When you can start to put it in the form of real life applications, it just makes. I mean, that's the biggest change I think for me over the last few years. Is it's changed from Yoda heads to real life applications.
And we can actually put numbers behind it, because it's like when previously they spent this much money and this much time on this model. Now with a 3D printer in house, it's this much time and this much money, and that savings is honestly anywhere from 70 to 90%. So it's really impactful. It's exciting.
Real dollars. Well, I'd like to thank you, Mara.
Thank you so much, and thank you to America Makes. We love being members. It's awesome that you have easy ways for companies to get involved and get networking and talk to clients and other people in the industry to really move this forward as a group. So thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks.